Also, for you at home, you may be wondering how much could these changing dates impact the FBI's investigation, and does it put Mr. and Mrs. Laundrie in potential legal trouble? We have turned to her throughout our coverage, and she has continued to answer many of your questions about this investigation. And one of the big questions tonight is the impact of this new timeline on what investigators are doing in searching for Brian and what we're hearing from the family, specifically Cassie, tonight. Joining me now is Jennifer Coffindaffer. She is a former FBI agent and has been following this case closely with us and with you in the public. Jennifer, as always, thanks for your time. I'd like to start with Brian's sister, Cassie. Did her talking to the protesters on her front lawn help or hurt investigators right now?
Her talking completely helped this investigation, in my opinion. The reason is she has just cracked that wall with the Laundries and seems willing to talk. She seems fed up with this whole situation. She was thrown under the bus. So she has a different posture than she did previously, although she's also set herself up as even more of a perceived liar.
You know, you've spent your life in these types of investigations looking at the other side, and I don't want to speculate too much, but at this point we don't have a whole lot of information. But Jennifer, if you're on this case right now, what are the odds that Brian Laundrie somewhere is hearing pleas from the people closest to him and Gabby's family, turn yourself in?
I think Brian Laundrie and his family, when they went away for 3 days from August 6th to August 8th, discussed this whole plan and discussed what we're seeing now play out, and that is he is a fugitive.
There have been some sightings in the Appalachian Trail, some possible sightings. What do you make of these potential leads in the investigation?
I believe that the people that have made these sightings truly believe that they've seen Brian Laundrie. But the fact of the matter is they haven't, in my opinion. And that is based on, as an example, the engineer who most recently said he was 100% sure he saw Brian Laundrie in a white truck that doesn't make sense, talking to this individual. If you look at this, a fugitive does not want to make contact with others. They are not going to engage in conversation like this. And I don't believe any of these sightings to date have ferreted out to be accurate.
Isn't it also likely that he has changed his appearance? He knows so many people are looking for him, and he may be somewhere that they're not looking.
I think, Marnie, you hit it right on the head. He's obviously probably lost weight. I think he's a survivalist. I think he is out somewhere in the Florida terrain hiding. He's using the skills that he has to hide from law enforcement, and he's hiding where law enforcement isn't.
And if he's in Florida tonight. Jennifer, I spoke with Palm Beach County State Attorney David Ehrenberg recently, and I asked him if he thinks more serious charges are coming against Brian Laundrie. I want to play his response for folks at home, and then we'll get your thoughts.
Prosecutors not only have a higher burden, but we have rules like if we don't file charges within 30 days of the arrest, then the guy goes free without any conditions until his trial. Also, we have speedy trial rules that say that we've got to try the case in 180 days, at least here in Florida, which is why prosecutors aren't rushing to file charges yet.
So, Jennifer, does this explain why more severe charges haven't been filed yet? And does this make sense in your book as an investigator?
It makes sense. This is a high-profile case. They do not want to make any mistakes. They're going to make sure that every I is dotted, every T is crossed when it comes down to the evidence that is against this murderer. And they're not going to leave any stone unturned to make sure they have a full compilation of this evidence. In my opinion, right now, it's a bifurcated investigation. One side of the Bureau is looking for Brian Laundrie, and the other side is putting together the criminal case so that an indictment can be returned.
And you know, Jennifer, as well as I do, the public is very invested in this case. We've had a lot of questions from people on Twitter about this investigation. I wanted to send one your way, and this comes from Peggy on Twitter. She says, why hasn't Gabby's cause of death been released yet? Any insight into that?
Yes, the FBI is not going to receive, the FBI is not going to give any details regarding the specifics of that death. And that is because it's so important to keep those details hidden so that as the investigation further develops, nobody can use that information that they gleaned from the media to pose as evidence.
So cause of death, we do know, has not been determined, but manner of death, a homicide. Jennifer Coffindaffer, as always, thank you for your insight as we continue every day to learn a little bit more. What we don't know tonight is where is Brian Laundrie. Jennifer, thank you.